Hello, good morning everybody. Today I am going to discuss various transmission mediums in computer networks. Previously, I explained what are the various transmission medium and what are the hardware required and software required for the computer networks. How the data is represented? The data is represented by computers and other telecommunication devices using the signal. The signals travel or transmitted in the form of electromagnetic energy from one device to another. These electromagnetic signals travel through vacuum, air or other transmission mediums to move from one point to another. That is nothing but sender to receiver. Electromagnetic energy means electrical energy and magnetic energy. Magnetic field, electric field and magnetic field, which consists of power, voice, visible light, radio waves, ultraviolet light, gamma rays, etc. What is the transmission medium? The transmission medium is the means through which we send our data from one place to another. Normally, this will happen in the first layer of communication networks, it is OSI 7-layer model to the transmission media. So that we will study in the whenever we will study the OSI model, that is later. See, here this graph represents what are the different transmission mediums. So in this class we only discuss bounded medium. Transmission modes are divided into two modes, bounded medium and unbounded medium. Under the bounded medium, there are the cables, coaxial cable. Under the coaxial cable, there are baseband cable and broadband cable. Fiber optics, twisted cable. The twisted may be unshielded or shielded. This twisted normally uses the copper cable. Earlier in olden days, if you see observe the TV antenna, there are no channels like this. This much of channels we are available, and this much of TVs also. So mediums also not available. So only AGIV the antenna is used in those days. The cable which we are going to connect the TV to antenna is a twisted cable, that is two-pave copper wire. Unbounded medium. So bounded medium means the coaxial cable or fiber optics are twisted, there is a one-to-one energy. Unbounded means there is no limit for it. That is radio transmission and microwave transmission. So while considering or while selecting a particular transmission medium, what are the factors to be considered? Transmission rate, cost and ease of installation, resistance to environmental conditions, distances. Transmission rate means 10 Mbps, 100 Mbps, 1000 Mbps. What is the rate? Bits per second. Cost and ease of installation. How to take into consideration the cost and whether it is easy to install or not. Resistance to environmental condition. So because this transmission media, the cables are outside the home or in the atmosphere, so they should be resistive to the rain and heat also, temperature of the ambience. And distances, how much distance it has to travel a signal, otherwise it will be die out. That those two should be, these factors should be considered while selecting the transmission medium. Well, as I said, the first one is bounded or guided transmission media. Guided media means which are those that provide a conduit from one device to other. They include twisted pair cable, coaxial cable and fiber optics cable. These are the coaxial cable, fiber optic cable, twisted cable. These are the bounded media. Signal traveling along one of these, any of these media is directed and contain the physical limits of the medium. So the signal may be transmitted through this medium means, so some limits will be applied. Twisted pair and coaxial pair, these two are metallic inside the copper. It is a copper conductors, metallic conductors. They are made up of copper that accept and transmit or transport the signals in the form of electric current. So this is the how the transducer, say, the signals are transmitted in the form of electrical current, whereas the optical fiber is a cable that accepts and transports signals in the form of light, not in the form of current. Okay. The working principle is different. So first of all, we will see the twisted pair cable. It is the most commonly used and cheaper than others. It is light in weight, cheap, can be installed easily and support many different types of network. Some important points. See, twisted pair cable. Its frequency range is 0 to 3.5 kHz. Attenuation is 0.2 dB per kilometer, the rate of 1 kHz. The rate of 1 kHz. Attenuation along the line is depends on the dBs per, the units are dBs per kilometer at the rate of 1 kHz. Typical delay is 55 microseconds per kilometer. So there may be a delay of this much time may be acceptable. Repeater spacing is 2 kilometers. Repeater spacing is 2 kilometers. As the signal transmitting the signal longer and longer distances, the signal may be attenuated. To avoid that, we will use a repeater. So in the previous classes also I told you, repeater is not a amplifier. It reconstructs the original signal bit by bit. Twisted pair consists of two conductors, normally copper, each with its own plastic insulation twisted together. How it will be, we will see the picture. See, there are a twisted pair. There are two conductors. In that, one of these wires is used to carry the signals to the receiver, and other is used only as ground reference. The one conductor is used to carry the signal. The other one is now to discuss shielded twisted pair cable. So far we discussed UTP, unshielded twisted pair cable. Now we will see the shielded twisted pair cable. This cable has a metal foil or beaded mesh covering the encases each pair of insulated conductors. Electromagnetic noise penetration is prevented by metal casing. Shielding also eliminates the crosstalk, but we will see the paper. It has same attenuation as unshielded twisted pair, but it is faster than the unshielded and coaxial. So whenever there are advantages, there will be some disadvantage. That is nothing but here it is expensive than the coaxial and unshielded twisted pair. Here see, these are 12 foil. So without this you have unshielded. Because of this we have a advantage of noise elimination, crosstalk elimination. Advantages: easy to install, performance is adequate, can be used for analog or digital transmission, increases the signal increase, higher capacity than the unshielded twisted pair, eliminates the crosstalk. What are the disadvantages? Difficult to manufacture, and it is very heavy. These are the two disadvantages of the shielded twisted pair cable. How is the performance of the shielded twisted pair cable? The performance of this twisted pair cable is measured by comparing the attenuation versus frequency, not the distance. With the frequency, the twisted pair cable can pass a wide range of frequencies. With increasing frequency, how the attenuation? The attenuation measured in decibels per kilometer. Attenuation measured in dB per kilometer. So the attenuation increases with the frequencies above 100 kHz. Applications of shielded twisted pair cable, where it will be used. Telephone lines. Telephone lines comprises of voice channel and data channel. Because in the telephone we will get the voice and data also now. The DSL lines. DSL means digital subscriber line, that is nothing but the modem. ADSL, HDSL. The DSL lines that are used by telephone companies to provide high data rate connections, also use the high bandwidth capability of unshielded twisted pair cables. So, shielded twisted pair cables are used in telephone line, DSL, for DSL lines to provide high data rate. Local area networks such as base T and 10 base T and 100 base T also use twisted pair cables. So one more transmission media is coaxial cable. It is very famous. So here in our cable networks, TV cable, you will see usually, so in every apartment those are hanging lines, one house to other house or one apartment to apartment. These are all the coaxial cables. Of course, nowadays they are placed by fiber optic. Coaxial is called by this name because it contains two conductors that are parallel to each other. Copper is used in this as a center conductor, which is a wire of standard one, solid wire of standard one. So it is surrounded by PVC installation and a sheath which is encased in an outer conductor of metal foil, barred or both. So our metallic wrapping used as a shield against noise, and a second conductor which completes the circuit. We will see the diagram. See, this is an inner conductor. So wrapped around the with the metallic foil. Okay, outer conductor. These two are insulator. This is the plastic cover. The outer conductor is also encased in an insulating seal. The outermost part is the plastic cover which protects the whole cable. See, this is the plastic cover. These two are the insulators. One is sheet, the other one is the interconductor copper. This is wrapped around. Most common coaxial standards. What is the resistance? What type it is? What is the standard? RG means registered government. So this is a standard for the coaxial cables. 50 ohms RG7 or RG11 is used with Ethernet. 50 ohms RG50 is used with thin Ethernet. This is thick Ethernet. 75 ohms RG15 is used with cable television. So what is the impedance of the coaxial cable which we are going to use in cable TV is 75 ohms and RG59 used with the cable television. 93 ohms RG62 used with the arc. What is coaxial cable standards? In the last slide I told you na, coaxial cables are categorized by their radio government ratings, RG ratings. Each RG number denotes a unique set of physical specifications. Each RG number is denoted a unique set of physical specifications, including what is the innermost conductor gauge length, thickness, what type of insulator, and what is the construction of the shield, the size and type of the outer casing, etc. So RG 7, 58, 59, 16, there is a significance which gives the sizes or gauge lengths of the conductors used inside construction of shield, outer casing, all these will be standards. So each thing will be utilized for different purpose. So here I am showing the table and table showing the category of the coaxial cable, impedance and use. RG59 75 ohms impedance cable TV. RG58 50 ohm thin Ethernet. RG11 or 7 50 ohm thick Ethernet. So these coaxial cables are connected through some connectors. These connectors, we need the connectors to connect the cables to the devices. The most common type of the connector is BNC connector. In CRO probes, we will use this BNC connector. So the below figure, this figure shows the popular type of BNC connector. This is the BNC connector normally you see in the CRO probe. The BNC T connector, BNC terminator. Those are the coaxial cable connectors. Next we will see the cable In the cables, the first slide I told you that the coaxial cables are divided into two types, baseband and broadband. Baseband is used for digital transmission, broadband is used for analog transmission. The baseband is having 50 ohms coaxial cable. Normally it is used for LANs. It transmits a single signal at a time with very high speed. The drawback is needs amplification for every 1000 feet. That is the baseband. What about broadband? This uses the analog transmission on standard cable television and cabling. It transmits several simultaneous signals using the different frequencies. In baseband, it is only a single signal. It covers a large area compared to the baseband coaxial cable. What are the advantages of coaxial cable? High bandwidth, long distance, used for long distance. Transmit the signals at very high rate, 10 Mbps. Higher noise intensity. For transmission, data transmission without distortion. It can span to longer distance at high speed, as they have better shielding when compared to twisted tail cable. So there are so many advantages. There are some disadvantages also. What are these disadvantages of the coaxial cable? It's a single cable failure can fail the entire network. Difficult to install and expensive compared to the twisted pair. If the shielding is not perfect, there may be chances of creating a ground loops. So where are the areas we will find these coaxial cables? Coaxial cable widely used in analog telephone networks. A single coaxial cable network should carry 10,000 voice signals. Cable TV networks. Cable TV networks uses what standard of cable, coaxial cable, RG59. RG59. In traditional Ethernet LANs, in Ethernet LANs also, because of its high bandwidth, high data rate, for digital transmission we will use these coaxial cables. 10/2 or thin Ethernet uses RG58 coaxial cable with PNC connector to transmit the data at the rate of 10 Mbps with a range of 185 meters. These are the applications of coaxial cable. The one more most important transmission media is fiber optics cable. Fiber optics cable. The fiber optics cable is made of glass or plastic and transmit the signal in the form of light. So it follows to know in depth about the fiber optic cable transmission, you should know about the nature of the light. What are the different properties of light? Light travels in a straight line as long as it is moving through a single uniform substance. When a light traveling in one substance and enters into the other substance, the ray changes its direction. You know, it is away from the normal or toward the normal. So for connecting the fiber optics cable to the devices, in the fiber optic cable there is a cladding core. So again there is a cover on the plastic cover on the clad. So there is a core region, so just like through which the signal will be transmitted. In between cladding and core, the transmission takes the multiple reflections. The light ray passes from this point to the end point, fiber optic cable. While transmitting a signal, the signal should be transmitted to we want to transmit the signal to fiber optic cable. Before that it should be converted to light signal. Then again at the end the light signal should be converted to electrical signal. So there may be couplers and other sensors to connect this fiber optic cable to the devices. There are three types of connectors. Those are the subscriber channel, SC connector, ST connector, and MT RJ connector. SC connector means subscriber channel connector. So this is like this. These are the different devices which will be used to connect to the devices, network devices. This is the fiber optic. ST cable is straight tip cable. This is a straight tip cable. The third one is MT-RJ connector. This is the transmission. This is for reception. MT-RJ connector, which is same as RJ45. What are the advantages of fiber optic cable? There are several advantages. Higher bandwidth, less signal attenuation, immunity to electromagnetic interference, resistant to corrosion, lightweight, greater immunity to tapping. What are the disadvantages? There are some disadvantages also in the use of optical fiber. Installation and maintenance is one of them. Unidirectional light propagation and the cost is more. These are the different disadvantages of the fiber optic cable. Where we find the fiber optic cable? We can say that it is a backbone of the networks because of its wide bandwidth. Some companies will use TV companies, cable TV companies use both the combination of optical fiber and coaxial cable, forming a hybrid network. Normally, local area networks such as 100 base effects, 1000 base effects also use the fiber optic